In October 1978, a man stumbled into a police station in Bavaria, Germany. He was barefoot, completely disoriented, and his body was covered in deep, healing scratches. He told the officers he had been missing for 4 days. But according to his own sense of time, he had only been gone for a few hours. The man's story began with a simple hike. He was in a forest he knew like the back of his hand, a place he had walked through dozens of times before. Same trail, same landmarks. Everything was familiar. Until it wasn't. He first noticed the sound, or rather the lack of it. The forest had become unnervingly quiet. No birds chirping, no wind rustling through the leaves. Nothing but the sound of his own heavy breathing. Then the path itself began to shift. Trees he recognized were suddenly in the wrong places. Clearings he'd just passed vanished behind him. The trail no longer led forward, and it certainly didn't lead back. Every direction he turned felt wrong. He claimed that no matter how far or how long he walked, the forest just seemed to loop. It wasn't a physical loop, but a psychological one. It was as if the environment itself was alive, observing him, and rearranging itself to keep him contained. At one point, desperate for shelter, he found a small, old cabin. It was unlocked. Stepping inside, he saw the walls were covered in strange carvings. Symbols he had never seen before. They weren't runes, and they weren't letters from any alphabet he knew. They were just repeated over and over, carved deep into the wood, as if someone was trying to leave a desperate warning. Exhausted, he fell asleep on the floor of the cabin. When he woke up, the carvings were gone. The walls were completely smooth, untouched, as if they'd never been marked. Panic finally took over. He screamed until his voice was raw, but the dead silence of the forest swallowed his cries. There was no echo. In a final act of desperation, he just ran. He wasn't running toward any destination. He was just running away. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, he was out. He emerged at the edge of the forest, less than 300 meters from where he had first entered. 4 days had passed in the outside world. His watch had stopped. His beard had grown noticeably. And the scratches all over his body, the ones he couldn't remember getting, were already showing signs of healing, not fresh injury. The police launched a thorough search of the area. They combed the forest, looking for any evidence to support his bizarre story. They found no cabin, no strange carvings, no altered terrain. The forest was exactly as it had always been. He was evaluated by doctors who found no traces of drugs in his system, no signs of psychosis, and no head trauma that could explain the memory loss or disorientation. He was perfectly healthy. And yet, he insisted on one haunting detail. The forest didn't trap him physically. It didn't want him lost. It waited for him to understand that he was never in control. Since then, eerily similar reports have emerged from hikers and explorers across Europe. People entering familiar woods, only to experience missing time. They describe the same unnatural silence where nature should be loud. They return days later with little memory, but with the same chilling conclusion. Some places don't want you to get lost. They just want you to become aware. Because not all prisons have walls. Thanks for watching.